Hello, this is a drum kit workout and it's a compound exercise that you can play at the beginning of each practice session. It's going to cover timings and techniques and rudiments and how we build these into drum beats and fills around the kit. There is a PDF for you to download below. I'm going to play it through from start to finish and then I'll go through it bar by bar. Okay, let's go through it bar by bar. The first bar is an open stroke roll. In grades 1 and 2, you generally learn the buzz roll, where when we hit, we press. From grade 3, we have the open stroke roll, and when we strike, we need to create a clear double. And it's always a good idea to get this motion from the wrist. Imagine you're stood in a gymnasium holding a tennis ball and you bounce it. Second bar, we have the 5-stroke roll. This is like a section of the open stroke roll. Double, double, single. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we need to get them as even as possible. In the third bar, we have the 5-stroke roll again, but leading with the left hand. When you're playing your 5-stroke rolls, if you're leading with the right, you might want to have it just a touch higher, just to give it a bit of shape. And then when you lead with the left, do the same. So the left hand's got to lead and the right hand's got to just submit a little bit. Bar 4, we build the 5-stroke roll into a drum beat. So our 5-stroke roll, we put that onto the hi-hat. The 5th note is coming to the snare. To get this going, we're going to do a messy 5-stroke roll, so like a buzz. So we'd have 1 E and 2 E and 3 E, E and And now we're going to tidy it up and get the clean doubles. It's important to keep a loose grip in our fulcrum, or grip on the stick. And when we're doing it, if I show to this camera here, if you imagine squeezing from 1 to 10, 10's the hardest, you want to be about a 2 or 3. So if we don't, the minute we start tightening our fulcrum, you'll bring the doubles together and they get narrower. So tight, loose. And this sheet is pretty much really focused on doubling and getting clear doubles from a single strike. Okay, moving on. We have bar 5, which is a repeat of bar 4. Then bar 6, we come to the ride cymbal. And the cross-headed note on the snare is a rim tap, or a cross snare. Some electronic kits won't make the sound, but it's good just to get into the habit of placing it. On an acoustic kit, we start with the butt of the stick touching the skin, about 2 or 3 inches in, and then we lay the heel of the palm here on the skin. Then we strike. You see some drummers turn the stick over to get a thicker sound, but that should be in contact, and your underside of your wrist should be in contact. And then we have bar 7, which is a 7-stroke roll. So this builds on from the 5-stroke roll. 5-stroke roll was 3 motions, 1, 2, 3, da 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 da. 7-stroke roll is going to go double, 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 single. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Left hand. So we can see the 7th note moves to the high tom. And then left-handed, down to the low tom. And then 4 16th notes. And then bar 8, we're going to build the 7-stroke roll into a drum beat. So we're going to have, so 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. So we go back to the messy version again, where we're buzzing the sticks. It just helps the placement, makes it a bit easier. Let's tidy up. Then we have bar 9, which is a repeat, a copy again of bar 8. Bar 10, we have the 9-stroke roll. And I'm sure you're getting the hang of it now. This time we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Left hand. And it's always important we learn rudiments both ways. So this 9-stroke roll is built from into the snare drum, this pattern, and it starts with a low tom. So 1 E and a 2 E and a da 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 4 E and a. And on the second beat and the 4th beat at the bar of this bar 10, we have these arrow symbols above the snare drums there, which are accents. And for that particular note, we play it louder. With the bass drum. Bar 11 starts the same, but then we have a left-handed 9-stroke roll. Bars 10 and 11, most of the notes are ghosted, and we can see this because they've got small note heads. And this means we play really quietly. And we've got to try and create a large dynamic range. And this is a real test of technique, how we can get down for the ghost notes and then bringing this accented note through. With just a technique, getting this real catapult motion. And then to execute a 9-stroke roll ghosted as well. Moving on is bar 12 to the end, and this is a well-known exercise, and I've added it on because it goes through each division of notes we need from quarter notes up to 30-second notes, so it's a good timing exercise. So bar 12 is quarter notes. Simple stuff. Don't start that too fast or you're going to suffer when you get to the end of this. Bar 13 is 8th notes or quavers. So 1 and 2 and 2. Now, this is the first sort of challenge. We're going to move into triplets. So these are 8th notes triplets. We can count these as 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, or 1 dander, 2 ander. If you find that confusing, just say bumblebee, bumblebee, bumblebee 4 times. Bar 15, and these are 16th notes. It's 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a. Bar 16, we now go into sextuplets, and these are semi-quavers, and there's not a way of counting them like with the triplets. If you get really stuck, you can say something like higgledy piggledy or Nelly the elephant. A good way of pulsing and phrasing these is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just put a little lift in volume on the fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then bar 17, 30-second notes. These are twice as quick as 16th notes because of 30-second notes. So there's going to be 8 notes per beat. So we're moving around the kit. Just keep your hands really even, and you might have to start slowly with these, as it's a test of technique to get them really loud and proud and even moving around the kit. If you have a word, something like for the 16th notes, like Tom and Jerry or Coca-Cola, Caterpillar, you can say that for the 30-second notes, but twice as quick. So, and then the last bar is just a low tom with the bass drum. So learn this in sections, then start to put it together. And as I said before, this is great just to play through from start to finish as a compound exercise. Begin of each practice and download the PDF at the bottom underneath in the link. Enjoy it.